Yo, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So today is Tuesday, the 3rd of June, 2025, and it's currently 9 p.m. UK time. Literally just about to pull up the charts, have a look. They don't close for like another 48 minutes or so. However, this time of day, it's pretty dead, pretty pointless trading. So let's have a little look at our analysis from yesterday, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Let's see if we can change a few things up and see if we can get in any trades for tomorrow, or for the rest of the week, just to see which way it's running, see if we can identify which way it's going to go. Right, and straight off the bat, okay, it has pushed out of our area. It did come down a little bit, it has pushed back up, but I've noticed already we have a fair value gap right there, which it has tapped into, and it looks like, let me draw another one, we've now come in somewhere here. So it's tapped in. I think this now could be a valid push down, if I'm honest. You can see that fair value gap again there, from there to there. Let me draw it up. Has tapped in. I do think that could be a valid reason to sell now, to hold a sell to this low, to see which way it's going to go. But I do think that could be a valid sell for the rest of the week now. So it's below, so far everything is below. So downwards trend, you want to be catching sells, in my opinion. AUD CHF, obviously it's pushed up. Where are we? Tuesday, so it pushed down. I said possible sell at this level. I'm pretty sure I said yesterday. Looks like all that's happened now is that's flipped from literally that side to that side. So possibly, or even at this level, maybe might be a bit better. Somewhere there, maybe. Looking pretty good. There's loads of tap-ins at that level. Yeah, I think that could be the one. Yeah, I think the buy side for Australian dollar, Swiss franc to the upside. ADJP1, let's have a little look. Okay, looks like it's ignored our pullback to the support area. Literally drew, which it tapped into beautifully, and we hit some nice, would have hit some nice TPs from Monday. Could have hit some quick entries. Looks like it's going to respect our trend line. That's tapped in from there, 2, 3. You always want 3 or more touches, whether it's support, resistance, trend lines. This now, let's have a little look. Weekly's bullish, daily's bullish. I think if it breaks this again, breaks this trend line, or to make things a little bit more, could be a potential buy. So if it taps in, I reckon it'll probably tap in somewhere around, it'll linger somewhere around here, pull back, break this trend, probably tap into there somewhere, and then upside. AUD New Zealand, Australian dollar, New Zealand. So we have, it is starting to go bullish, even though it's red. Let's have a little look on the daily. Where's the fib? Get the fib out. What levels are we at? We're in that golden zone right now. Ooh. I still think that's coming down. I really do. I still think that's coming down. AUD New Zealand. Okay, so we have our resistance support here, which I drew yesterday. So that's tapped into. I've said either a buy from here or a buy from here. Depending on, obviously, if you drop it down to smaller time frames, you can see what happens. So when it first tapped in, which would have been Tuesday, this one. So when it first tapped in, it didn't really push out. We've had a massive tap into here. I mean, look at all these entries. You could have literally entered all these. I mean, if you was scalping or a scalper, this would have been dreams. I mean, buy, 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 buy. I mean, you might have been stopped out on these too, depending on where your stop loss was, but that is just sensational on a scalper's point of view. But yeah, same scenario as yesterday. Wait for a break and retest now. It looks like, yeah, thought as much. Tapped into the golden zone. So now it'll probably just break and retest, if I'm honest, on AUD New Zealand. Probably just tap into this level here, which is the 30. Oh my gosh, I can't really see that. What is it? 38 level for those that are watching. So it's probably got some support at that level now, at the 38 level on the Fibonacci. Let me delete that to make life a little bit easier for everybody to see. So that is my on buy side AUD USD. Bitcoin, I mean, need I say more? Consistency with the tap-ins non-stop. Yeah, so that would have been beautiful. Again, look at that, tapped in, straight sell, boom. I do think Bitcoin, to be fair, does need to come down a little bit now, if I'm honest. I mean, it's been lingering around the 106,000. I mean, realistically now, if you was to draw a fib, I mean, really, it needs to come in. There's a fair value gap here. There's all this support that's correct. Really, I think it'll come back down to the 90s, in my opinion, on a long-term basis for Bitcoin. I mean, literally at the start of the year, I did predict it come down to, I think it was 70s. I said, oh my week, I think it was 70s. I literally said at the start of the year. I drew from here. Was it here or here? I don't think it really matters. No, it don't really matter. Let's just say from there. And I literally said in the 70s, Bitcoin will come down to, and it literally, I called it. I said at some point this year, Bitcoin will hit the 70s, and it literally right come down to the 70,000. So, Bitcoin, as of right now, I think does need to start to come down a little bit. But yeah, to be continued on that. Ooh, we got quite a big push up, if I'm honest. So weekly, yeah, it's starting to pump up a little bit now, to be honest. We've got all these supports here. So if we draw, let me pick one. I'm gonna go from this blue one here. I quite like the look of that one. And then drop it down a time frame. That's just took all that out, made these tap-ins so much easier on buy side, if I'm honest. Oh my gosh, hiccups, break and retest on CAD CHF, CAD JPY. Oh my gosh, why am I hiccuping? Okay, so we've broke through. We've now tapped into our area up here that I drew yesterday. Now it's just a case of, is it going to pull back down and then buy, or is it going to break, buy? So as of right now, I am still buy side. We've got JPY, CHF JPY is coming down, whether it's lingering. Oh, wow, clicking on goddamn thing. Where was I supposed to go from now? For some reason, this candle right here is calling me. I don't know why. It's just calling me. It's just calling me, that candle is. Funny enough, it is actually panning. I think that's just to sit on your hands and wait at the minute, in my opinion. I said possible break and retest the buy. This might still be a buy. It's just whether, yeah. So this is why Fibonacci is so good to use. It gives you some levels. Look at that. It's tapped into the golden zone. Buy. Straight at the 38 level, and it's come back down. I still think this is going to push up. I just think that it's basically tapped into this level there or thereabouts. Obviously, you've got all this support here. I still think that's buy side, if I'm honest. But again, let's just hang fire. Okay, so it's come back into our zone. So again, it's just a case of hang fire. It's a bit of a slow week, isn't it, this week? Let's be honest. Not every week's going to be exhilarating. Is that the right word? Exhilarating? Exciting? Fair way you got there. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Got our zone. Yeah. Maybe that's the area somewhere within these two, which could be the buy. I'm gonna leave that up for now. Looks a little bit choppy, but when you start to look at all these tap-ins and then it zigzag through them, yeah, I've got a bit of a flag forming. When you start to look like that, that could. Let's get rid of that one. There's too many lines. You don't want too many lines. Yeah, I think just wait on that one again. Okay, it's tapped in, slowed down. I'm still buy side. Yeah, so that didn't give reason to buy there. I said yesterday, possible buy in there, but this is where again, drop it down the time frames. Look for a push out as it starts to push out, maybe another retest and then buy. However, it was below the EMA. Clearly didn't start to push out, so there was no reason to buy there. However, now there could be a reason to buy, and then maybe aim back up to this area here or back up to the top. So keep our eyes on that. I mean, at the minute, it's just every zone I've drawn, pretty much it's just jumping between them. It hasn't really, it's been a bit of a slow week this week, let's be honest. Buy side, buy side, buy side. Yeah, so just a break and retest again. It's just come back down to our area. Haven't really done a lot except for this big push out. You know, so this is where you would have wanted to start buying, as it's coming out right here. Euro New Zealand. Okay, it's neither here nor there by the look of it. I'm going to leave that one as it's just literally going sideways. Not a fan of sideways markets. I'm pretty sure I said yesterday this level or this one, but I didn't draw it. I says I will just wait and see. I am now going to draw it. Now we're at this level. you know, just try and get in as many of these tap-ins as you can. There's absolutely loads there. Doesn't have to be too perfect, but if I'm honest, as this starts to push out now, maybe crosses the EMA or something. We're in a fair value gap right here, which is what I like as well. So we've got that fair value gap. So really, we're literally in prime zone. So let me just draw that fair value gap, fair value gap again to show you. So really, in between this area here is our zone to be buying. So possibility as this starts to push out, stop loss just below. I'm a bit OCD. I like to keep things. So that's 22. So let's just say 20, 25-ish. Back up to the top. That's an instant 2.5 to 1. But again, we'll see. No point stressing. Just keep an eye on it tomorrow when the markets reopen. It's just rejected, obviously, as you're seeing it. Seeing here. So it has respected. You could have got into a couple of sells again. If you dropped it down, so you could have sold. I'm down here. Sold again. I'm down here. So that would have been 2 beautiful trades. Sold again. Not quite. But you know, you could have had 2.5 entries there. GBP CAD. I do think this is coming down now. It's now in our zone. I think this is a fat sell. Targeting down here. Stop loss just above. Again, 2 to 1. These are some nice risk to rewards. Minimum of 2 to 1s. GBP has completely ignored the area. It has now created this as its support by the look of it. It has tapped back into our resistance up here, so that one looks good. It's on our trend line, so possible now continuation for that uptrend. As it starts to push up now, break this EMA on the weekly. It's broken it on the daily. And on the 4 hour it's broken it. So now this could generally pull back a little bit maybe and then continue back to the upside. I mean, say no more. Tapped in beautifully to our trend line. It's now broken the resistance. Pull back. Buy. Targets up here. So you got all these levels. You've got levels here with a couple of tap-ins. You've got levels here, a couple of tap-ins. Or you got this one with a couple of tap-ins. GBP New Zealand. So it has pulled back beautifully into the zone. Why is that one blue? I think it's because I drew it the other day. Since then I've changed my colours to make life a little bit easier. And for you guys to see that a little bit easier on the yellow. Yeah, I'm still sell side. GBP New Zealand. I mean, bouncing back and forth between our zones, which again is just drawn pretty good as of right now. Daily, weekly, it's kind of in the middle at the minute. So GBP USD, I am just sit on hands bias. Neither here nor there, just be patient, wait. Yeah, I think I said yeah, I mean, can you get any more sideways? Can you get any more sideways than that? I mean, and that one, I mean, that would have been a nice little buy, to be honest. Had I been watching that, yeah, that would have been a nice little buy, to be honest, coming out. Especially on this candle right here. That would have been the entry. 2 hour candle. Right there. On this candle open. Right there. Stop loss just below. So say, I mean, I'd probably rounded that up to 10, to be honest. 10 pips. Back up to the top. I mean, 3 to 1. Beautiful. I mean, even the 4-hour candle, the next one open, would have been a nice entry. Where is it? Let's put on the 4-hour minute. Yeah, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That's why it's always important to wait for these candles to close. I mean, you like, I know this started to pushing down, but you don't just want to enter a sell. You know what I mean? Wait for the candle, like, wait for it to move. This is why, like, if you'd have been on these smaller time frames, like, yeah, you could have got these couple of trades, but I mean, look at the difference between that, like, this little there, which is like what, 5 pips, or that, which is like 32 pips. You know what I mean? Like, yes, the small time frames are good, but the bigger time frames just catch those far bigger movements. So I suppose now need to try and find something up here. A couple of tap-ins, which is all we need. Don't need to be dragging it like months back. Just, you know, couple of candles. You know, within the last, like, how many candles that would you say? 30 to 50 candles. Nothing too stupid. Obviously on the bigger time frames, you know, stick to like the last 5 to 10 candles. Nothing too stupid. Again, you don't want to be on the weekly time frame, dragging it all the way back to like 2023. So yeah, on buy side, New Zealand CHF wasn't quite right here. Probably just leave that as it is for now. Let it cook, let it simmer. So we had a bit of a breakout. I think this is going to come back down, if I'm honest. Oh, God, excuse me. In that golden zone, I still think it's going to come down to this trend line. That's a sit on hands moment for me. USD. Let's have a little look. Probably buy side, if I'm honest. I know it's against the grain, but yeah, I'm probably. Problem is US dollar. Not even the problem, but just Donald Trump at the minute. I've said it every time, and the markets at the minute with USD are so unpredictable. I mean, the markets are never predictable anyway, but at least you got a little bit more sense of, you know, what's happening. I mean, it's like this, like, you know, as an example, you can sort of predict, okay, we drop it down now. We've got our resistance, we broke through, tapped in, we broke through, tapped back in, above the EMA, that's a buy all day. You know what I mean? But as of right now, I am not a huge fan trading the US dollars. However, we will not rule them out. We've drawn a little bit of something. Let's see what happened. Now, I am not annoyed, because you don't want to be emotional. This is twice now. The last couple of times I have just missed out on these entries. Right? This one, ignore this one. I said possibility of a buy, the fair value gap, etc, etc. However, you know, this is where you want to drop to the smaller time frames. It didn't quite push out, so obviously, you know, and again, didn't push out, so you wouldn't have bought. And obviously, you know, as it starts to cross the EMA, it starts to look sell side. Anyway, I am miffed. Right, here's a live trade I took. It took 2 days to hit TP. I took that the other week. I wanted to enter again at this level, and I just missed out here. I mean, look at that. That's literally like, let's draw from this line. I mean, what's that? 1.2 pips from entering. I was gonna enter this trend line, but I didn't want to. I got a bit nervous. I was like, oh, it's kind of in the middle of no man's land, blah blah blah. So that was a trade there. And believe it or not, it was here. I'm pretty sure here I said I want to enter, but because it had tapped in here, I was confident it was going to come back down and tap again. And I'm pretty sure I'd like, on this black line here, I says, oh, I'll probably have my TP, my entry somewhere here, just below, and then obviously, you know, up there. I mean, and it didn't hit the trend line, so I didn't enter. However, if I did enter on my line, like I said, I would have hit. So that's 3 entries I've missed. You know, so I would have been 4 for 4. I said possibility buying here. You know, it didn't show a buy though. Obviously, ignore that. Now today, I was looking at this so carefully today, right? And I very nearly entered as it tapped this EMA, right? Because I saw, obviously it's in our support. We've got a nice fair value gap here. You know, so obviously anywhere within this zone above the EMA, and I was like, oh, I was humming and ahhing, and I'm not even joking. I was literally humming and ahhing. I typed in my entry, typed it all in. My thumb was hanging over entering for a buy, and I just did not click it. And I mean, literally, that would have easily been a 2-to-1. Stop loss just below. There you go. 10 pips and 20 pips. That would have easily been a 2-to-1. So what would have that been if I'd have entered? Was that 5 in a row? How goddamn typical. But no stress, because guess what? Believe it or not, the markets are open again tomorrow. So we wait and see. If I'm honest, I still think gold has reason to pull back again to this area. I still think it's going to pull back. You know, again, looking here, golden zone, I still think it'll tap in again. If not, it'll come back down to this trend line. With gold, you just realistically, you want to, I know it's good to sell gold, but realistically, you want to catch buyers. I mean, it's so much better to buy gold than it is to sell gold. Gold, you know, I don't want to jinx it, but gold will always go up. It's just one of them assets that, you know, you got to think how much countries in the world are sat on gold and it's locked away in the vaults. They do not want the price of gold coming down. Could you imagine, like, I mean, what, England's got like 3 vaults of gold with like billions and billions. Imagine if that just crashed and it become worthless. The country would like be a third world country, like, so it just won't happen. So that is my analysis for today, and the possibilities. Just a bit of a slow week. It is what it is. Unfortunately, with gold, could have been 5 for 5. However, didn't enter, which means didn't win, but on the bright side, didn't lose. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you've stuck to the end, please drop us a like, or a thumbs up rather. Like the video, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.